Good afternoon. Yes, we're back again. We're back in Virtual Pool 4 online, and yes, we've got another match. This one caught me off guard. It's another match in this year's 10 ball Masters Championship. Clarky sent me a message just as I was about to go get dinner, and said that his match was going to be arranged between himself and Acero from Japan, Clarky from England, and they're about to go head to head in probably about 3 minutes time. And it's a round 2 match. It's a race to 14, and I've recovered from yesterday's 6-hour stint. Good afternoon, welcome. We have another match scheduled tonight. Now I hasten to add, Chico didn't turn up for his first match, so this is a one-loss side match that's scheduled. It's scheduled for 7 PM between Senny from Scotland and Chico. I don't know where Chico's from, but again, it's another one whether one or both will turn up. That's where the doubt is. But if it does go ahead, that's the match we'll go and watch the end of it, if it does go. So let's have a look at the bracket. Yeah, that's the match that's due to go tonight. This match, well, we know what happened, or what can happen. I think the bedhead match yesterday with Cobra was certainly 2.25 hours at least. It's hard to say. I mean, this actually could be quite a close match between Clarky and Acero. I would put Acero at slight favourite, but I don't think there's an awful lot between them at all. There's another match for tomorrow. What else have we got? There's one in a few days' time, Spectre Dawn and Shaft Tracks. And oh well, the interested party in this match is going to be Larry, because Larry came through comfortably last night. I can't even find him in the bracket. Where is he? He must be up here somewhere. I think he won 14-2 against Sylvia. I must have. Oh no, there he is. There he is. And Larry is waiting in the wings, waiting on the winner of this match. So Larry should be interested in what's going on. He may even drop by. So that is about it. Give it another 30 seconds maximum, and this room should be up, and we're all set to go. I think I'm going to have to change my cloth colour back though. Albinario has arrived. He may well have got the message on Facebook. I posted a link on Facebook for it, but I'm expecting fair quality in this match as well. Got two very good players, so we are looking for a good standard. Right, well, it should be up any second. It's gone past the 20 minutes past on my clock. There we go. Well, there'll be a few good more, I'll say that again, there'll be a few more good matches I would imagine before this tournament's over. Right, let's get that cloth colour changed. Oh, wrong bloody button, hang on a minute. So we're in plenty of time. Players haven't arrived yet, but they'll be getting the audio, or the audible alert. Clarky may well still be knocking balls around in his own room. Acero's lying down the bottom waiting. Again, need to remind you, or anybody who's accidentally stumbled across this, it's 10 ball. The players will lag for break. It's winner breaks, and it's a call shot game. That means that all banks and combos should be called, and the 10 ball obviously is an automatic call anyway. The game will force calling the 10 ball. Again, I don't know who's who. But the far side has won the lag. Good afternoon, Keith. Well, the break, and the break is dry, and of course there's the problem straight away with the 5 and 6. That's got to be dealt with. It can easily be dealt with when potting the 3. The only problem there is the 4's at the opposite end of the table. Good afternoon, Jose. What happened last night? Did you fall asleep? I watched, I went on to Duffman's channel, that's Moz's pal. Did you? Oh, I can't remember, my memory's that bad. Anyway, I was watching the stream that they were doing. I think it was like 50 minutes. I just flicked through it, and they were sitting there waiting, and Jose turning up. Well, here's the opportunity to break the 5 and 6, but of course, as I say, the problem is where the 4 balls line is not ideal. Well, McClarky's achieved the first objective, but the other objective is going to be awkward, queuing over that 6 ball. Oh, that's right, you did tell me, yeah. I mean, Jose does realise that the clock on his page is always at his own time. I mean, I don't know whether he just can't read a clock. But that was a good shot for McClarky. Achieved both objectives, breaking the 5 and 6. Now needs to get across onto this 7. He's got enough angle to stun it out. Yep. Oh, he's going to be hampered again. This is going to be worse. Yeah, but surely it shows on it that it's 12 AM or 12 PM. In Spain, Sunday is in the last column. What does that mean? Well, this is a good solid start from McClarky, meaning business. It's a good run out from the dry break from Acero. I think it was Acero that won the lag, wasn't it? I've forgotten that as well. Too busy reading the chat. So, McClarky is off and running, and that should settle him down right away. Very good solid start, but once again it's a dry break and no shot for Acero. Looking for the push Well, is it possible to get that one thin enough to billiard the 9? I don't know. I think the other problem is McClarky's solid on this bottom rail. And of course McClarky didn't like that shot, so he's given it back to Acero. And Acero hasn't got it safe, so it's another opportunity for McClarky. And again, the balls aren't bad. I think if he can brush into the 10 maybe. Yeah, he's only caught the edge of it, but the idea was right. Had he hit that 10 ball solid, he'd have been lying on the 2 into that left middle. So now he's got to look for cover, and there is a shot on that right side of the 2 ball. He can try and get over behind the 3 and 6 here if he wants, and just push that 2 over towards the 7. That is a shot that's definitely on. I don't know that that's what he's playing though. He's looking to push it up and down by the look of it. Well, okay, it's not an easy pot, but I think he could have played a better safety there. The shot I was talking about was definitely on. Yeah, that's always going to be difficult, and although the 2 balls hanging, it's going to be even more difficult to get into this deep enough to get right back up the table and get good on the 3. It's so difficult to judge. In fact, can he actually see it? No, he can't. Can't see it. Gonna have to bend it in the spin. If he gets it right, I'll bring it around the table. Oh, he got too much into it. Now that 6 ball, that looks possibly set to this corner pocket, and I think McClarky's got the same idea. Now what's he called here? He's called the 3. I think he could kick. I think I was maybe been a bit ambitious there, to be honest with you, calling that as a 6 ball, but McClarky's made the mistake. He's got the potman disease, not getting a ball to a rail. And just for anybody who doesn't know what I'm talking about, Potman was playing yesterday in our triple header, and somehow in his match he managed not to get a ball to a rail, not just once, but on 5 occasions. He was trying to push gentle to play a safety, and on 5 occasions he couldn't get a ball to a bloody rail. Well, Acero has his chance, but this is going to be the one that will decide it, I would think, if he can get up onto the 6. Well, it's obviously more annoying if you're the person doing that type of shot. Well, there's the unforced error trying to get to the 6, and Acero has scratched, and this should be 2-0 for McClarky. Yeah, I mean, if you actually just if you look on the positive side, had Potman in theory won those racks, he could have been well deep into the match, so he could have. But I think, and when I'm thinking about it, I think every time Potman made that mistake, I think I think you ran out every rack after that, or fairly close to doing it, I think. And that makes the punishment even more severe, to sit and watch your opponent just run the table after you've made such a duff elementary mistake. And that's what makes it more painful, and this will make it painful for acero, trying to get that cue ball up the table for the 6, find in the middle pocket, and Clarky pinches the rack. Good, well, it isn't evening yet, it's 25 to 6, I think we'll call that early evening. Good early evening, Albinario. Who do you play, Albi? I'm not going back to look at the bracket, I can't find half the folk on it anyway, but oh, that's right, aye, that'll be a good match. Well, there's a danger. Oh no, I thought that was a 10 ball. The 10 ball's down in the corner. What ball's that that's up there? Is that the 9? Yes, it is. Well, the obvious shot's going to come next, I would think, although it's not a gimme, this, because the 2 ball's closer to the rail than the 9 ball is. But acero, I don't think has got much of a choice. I mean, he actually could billiard off the 2 onto the rail and then chip the 9 in, and there's a good chance the 2 will come out into the table and he'll have it into the middle pocket if he was going to do that. I don't know whether he's trying to push the 2 onto the 9 or actually billiard onto it. Yeah, he's trying to push it onto it, and it hasn't gone, so it's another valid opportunity here for Clarky to widen the gap even more. Well, I thought that shot there, I mean, looking at it, it looked far easier to play the billiard from the 2 ball onto the 9, and the angle that you were going to hit the 9 at, bear in mind the angle that the ball goes to the rail and then goes to the 9, the cue ball had to come out to the left hand side. The 2 ball would have come out into the middle of the table and he would have had a shot. And this is what I'm saying about using your imagination, visualizing a shot. Okay, sometimes they work and sometimes they don't, but yes, it isn't guaranteed, but sometimes you've just got to take that risk. But relying on luck all the time is never a good policy. It's always better to have everything under control, but that was an alternative shot there, I hasten to add, obviously, because the combo from the 2 onto the 9 didn't work, and this is the end result. And Clarky just needs to make sure he gets right down the table, anywhere between the 8 and 10. Certainly doesn't want to be over on the right hand side of the table, and he doesn't want to hook himself. I think he's fine, or maybe not. Well, acero has his lifeline, and the interesting thing about this tournament, right, in all the matches I've seen, there is not one single player has attempted a jump shot. So remember, there's no jump cues, but I know if Yama was in this tournament, he'd be jumping over that 8 ball no problem. And not one single player has had the nerve to even attempt a jump shot. Jump shots can still be played. They're not easy, not having the jump cue, but Yama definitely proved that. And that's going to scratch, that's unlucky. And yeah, it's an interesting thing that nobody's been prepared to have a go and try a jump. So Acero's never going to get a better chance now to get himself off the mark. Good evening, welcome, and good evening to anybody else who's joined but is scared to chat. Yeah, well, you see, it might get now, Semi, you might be the player. You might be the player at some point during one of these matches where you're going to be backed into a corner and you're going to be fighting for your life maybe, and you're maybe going to have to dig out the attempted jump. You never know. I might be tempting fate saying that, but it might be worthwhile trying the odd jump shot in a practice room and seeing if you can pick an angle that's sort of there or thereabouts to actually get that cue ball over the object ball. Yama certainly can do it, and I think he was doing it with a bloody house cue at the time as well. And I mean, I'm talking jump shots not with 5, 6, 7 inches between the cue ball and the ball you want to jump over. I'm talking a lot closer than that, and he managed to do it. Biggest surprise when I seen him doing it. So in this race to 14, in this second round match, McClarky has a slender lead, 2 racks to 1. It's not a bad shot, because the obvious thing with this one is the 2 ball is going towards the pocket. Whether he thinks he can get enough of that to get it in, I think this is going to, well, that's a good shot, but is it legal? That's the question, and the answer to that is yes. Well, getting a wee bit of luck there with the collisions has got him into the table, and he has a pot in the 4. Need to probably draw over to that left hand side just to take a bit of fizz out of the cue ball. No, he's trying to gently hold it. Well, you see, he's gone square. He's still got a pot, but now the cue ball is just running a wee bit loose. But McClarky's got his pace well right at the start of this game, and that's a good sign for later on in the match. He's finding the pace straight away. Well, that's maybe gone wrong though. Yeah, he's the wrong side of the 7. Now, if he goes forward, he needs to actually almost go forward as if he's going to go into the pocket with left hand side and punch it around the angles. He can get over to that 10 ball side of the table, but it needs to just go past the middle pocket, I think, to make the angle. See this angle here? I'll get this bloody line to work. Well, he's decided he's not risking that, and well, what's he calling here? The thin cut into the right corner. Well, it's a good shot. I'll give him his dues there, because I would have been playing, yeah, I'd have been playing to get around to that, because I would never have fancied seeing the edge of that ball to cut it. That's my problem. I'd have been trying to get closer to it. But it's another bedhead tester here. These are the shots that Bedhead loves. And another one has been picked out, and he's going to need to get this one nice and flush, nice and smooth stroke, and it's going to give him a 3 racks to 1 lead. Now Acero Still really waiting to get his teeth into one of these racks. Well, you see, there's doing too much, and then there's leaving yourself too much to do, if you know what I mean. I mean, that shot there, okay, he got the rack, and he's a hero for doing it, but let's be honest, to leave yourself a big high cut, sooner or later you're going to run out of shots, and it's much better to keep that cue ball closer to the object ball, because it makes everything a lot easier. The follow-up shot's always a lot easier when you've got everything under control. So he came out a hero there, but he'll look a numpty at some point if he keeps going that way. Everybody does. Bedhead knows it, because he's forever doing it. Although I'll give him his dues as well, he didn't do it too much in his last match and won out. So we've got the 1-9 combo. Let's have a look and see where that's going. Well, he's called the 9, but I don't know whether this is a weird one. Yeah, it's gone in just off the jaw. He's now going to have to pull out another good shot. Well, I suppose it's risk and reward, isn't it? I mean, if you looked at that shot I was talking about, we'll let acero carry on here, but the shot I was talking about was, let's get my doodle working. There was the whatever ball it was he was potting, that's it there, and he had the chance to push the cue ball through with plenty of power and spin to go that way and get down for this object ball here. He'd all the room in the world on the table to do it, but as you say as well, he didn't take that risk. He still made sure he was going to have a shot on that object ball. All I'm saying is it was a lot tougher than it could have been if he had been if he'd been brave enough. But then again, you've got to be confident enough to take on those type of shots, get that cue ball moving. If you've got the one thing I would say in his favour is he's certainly got his what do you call it, he's got the pace well enough. In fact, he's got it well enough, I'm surprised he didn't try that shot. But anyway, acero's missed a kick in the 5, and well, I think the alarm bells are going to ring straight away after this visit, because acero is falling behind here to the extent that he needs to get himself in this, and provided Clarky leaves himself a half decent angle here, well, he might be going forward and out, but trailing 4-1 is not a pretty picture on that scoreboard. Somebody explain how the 24-hour clock works to Jose though before you agree anything, or what 12 AM and 12 PM is. Another high cut in this 8. Yeah, he's playing these shots. I like the pace that he's getting this cue ball moving at. That is always a very good sign. It's a good touch. And there's a lot to be said for knocking the balls about in practice for an hour or so before your match starts. But he's certainly got himself dialed in. But like I say, Acero hasn't shown anything yet, and I don't think he's really had a great deal of opportunities to do it. He's here in name and spirit, but he's not shown anything yet. He's not really had a great deal of opportunities either. And McClarky gets the 6 in the break, thin cut in the 1, shot in the 2, 3 wide open. Going to have to get back up for the 4, 5 wide open. Well, he's going to punch it into the 9. Surely he can just make the cut anyway. Oh, he's now inside the 2. Well, I think if he'd cut the 2, he'd have been out into the table. Now the cue ball, at that angle he's got, he's probably going to have to go to the other rail and get out. And he's managed to get the pace right again. This is the one where he has to go back up. But I'm giving him this rack. He's out here. It's a 5-1 lead. He's got the cue ball running nicely, and I can't see him messing this up. Of course, he'd be really stupid to end up behind a 10 ball, wouldn't he? Well, this is just a bit too straight, but he's going to leave a good angle in the 7, and it's a good angle to drop over for the 8 ball in that top rail. And an interesting thing as well, McClarky has typed in the chat off the 9. Now, strictly speaking, he should have probably actually called that, because, well, he would have ended up miscalling, because there was a chance that 9 ball could have went into the bottom corner, and in theory missed a 1. I mean, that's just been a bit pernickety, but that's what could have happened. I'm a stickler for the rules, but it's looking very good for McClarky. I think McClarky's going to have to fall out this game to let Acero back in it, if you know what I mean, or to let him in it in the first place. Well, Acero has his chance. The break's dry. He's trailing 5-1, and now can he pot this 1 and avoid the 6? It doesn't look that good from there. That's why he's digging down, and of course he's close to the rail, trying to maybe stun somewhere up the table to see the 2, but he can't do an awful lot. Well, he's done what we all thought. He was going to run into the 6, and now he's out of line. And this is where he has to then not get desperate. He's got a chance for a safety, or it's all out. Yeah, I think he's just pushing the boat out there a wee bit too much, and it may well cost him dear. You know the old saying, the best form of defence is attack, and maybe that's what Acero had in mind there. But those shots, those type of cuts at distance, are never guaranteed, and knowing that the table's lying pretty open, he's staring at 6-1 here. Well, I have to say, I thought it would have been a lot closer, but Acero just cannot get into it at all. I think he's roughly, you know, I think if you look back in this, he's getting like one shot a rack, and that's not a lot to go by. And he's had his one shot there, and he's maybe going to get another one because that 5 hasn't dropped. And look at the 6, it's going to have to be the 6-10 combo. How about this to win your second rack in the match? Not pretty, and I wouldn't be looking forward to it, because that 5 ball's deep in the pocket. It's about judging how this cue ball's going to go. He might be struggling to get this good on this 6, and hopefully for his sake he's had a good look in that pocket at where the 5 ball's actually sitting. Well, he's done his best, but it's not really that great. But is he going to go for it? Yes, he is. Well, this is well, he's looking at it. It's all or nothing, this, and I'm thinking where the 6 ball's going when he plays this. It's going back across the table. He's played it well, and it goes. So a sigh of relief for Acero, but the unforced error from Clarky has cost him, and Acero has broke. The 1, the 2 and the 5 have gone. He's got no great shot in the 3. I mean, he can try the thin cut in the middle, but he can push right through and nail the cue ball onto the 7. Well, looking at the 3, and he's looking at the cut. That's the thing with these 9 ballers. They basically, if there's a chance of any sort of pot, they're more inclined to be going for that than just nailing a good safety. He could have Clarky stuck on that 7. Well, he's played that well. It was pocket weight off the 7 into the middle, and has Acero come to life here? Oh, I see Stubbs woke up. Who rattled his cage? I take it you guys now realise that is actually a greeting from Stubb. He doesn't say hello, that's all he says. Well, Acero's come off the rails here because he's got no shot, and this could be a bit dodgy. Well, don't bother. I won't bother explaining it to you. It does involve foul language, that's all we'll say, and I don't think you need many more clues. I'll give you another clue. The C means see, as in look at something, see something. That's what that means. That's stubbish. Well, Acero looked as if he was off and running there, but it's all backfired. His breath of life is going to be diminished after this visit by Clarky. Excuse me. So the lead now goes back to 4. 6-2. And once again the 2 and the 3 have gone in the break. Well, there's an ambitious 2-10 combo if he fancies it. Yeah, just pushing it through to hide that one ball. What, you're off your work for 2 weeks? Well, that's not a bad result. Easy kick. Should be calling the opposite middle pocket here. Yes, he is. Just in case. He should be fairly close to this. Oh, that's a good shot. That was well picked out. Well, good from the point of view that he actually potted it, but he's hooked himself on the 4. Now, is he trying to play a billiard here? Can he see the edge of that 4 and try the billiard? Oh, it's a good attempt. Good evening. We've got a viewer on Facebook. Yes, he did call it. Yes, he called it. I'm pretty certain he called it. Acero's not been playing anything. He hasn't really had. He's had. I mean, he won that rack, and then he got out of shape and lost the next one. But he's not really been in it. And McClarky's not really. I mean, in terms of unforced errors, you could count the unforced errors by McClarky in 3 fingers. I mean, very few. And like I said a wee bit earlier, Acero's coming to the table having 1 shot, probably nothing much on, and hasn't really got started. And McClark will be quite happy at that. But acero is going to get himself another one on the board though. Oh, here he is. Talk of the devil, and he turns up. Have you been practicing, pot man? And I think that's the other problem for acero. He needs things to happen as and when he does get a break, and it ain't happening there. Yeah, you did it again. That's 6 times now, and we'll just count up how many times. I hope you didn't go back and watch the video, did you? You weren't listening to me, because I wasn't very complimentary, I have to say. Oh God. Oh dear. Clarky at the table again. Now, there's a problem here, because he's dead straight on the rail. I don't know what he's looking at, whether he's looking to see if the 3 will squirt past the 10. But there's not a lot he can do with the cue ball. Well, he's gone for the big draw just to get into the open. And a reminder to any latecomers, this, what time is it? It's just gone 6 o'clock, and this match was unscheduled until McClarky sent me a message telling me that him and acero were arranging to play, and we started at 5:20, and there's also another match that is scheduled and that's on the one loss side, race to 10. It's between Senny and Chico, but I'm hedging my bets that that won't go ahead either. It may well start at the top of the hour at 7 o'clock. That's in an hour's time. But if it does, let's be positive. Let's assume it does go ahead. Well, once this one's finished, if it goes for another hour, then we'll drop in and watch what's left of the other match. That's the plan. Senny, the only Scot in the tournament, and he's been known not to turn up as well in the past, and Chico's already not turned up, so I'm working on the plan that none of them turn up. Well, he's not Scottish as far as I'm concerned. He doesn't have a Scottish flag. Well, surprise, surprise, McClarky hasn't run the table. And what does Acero do here? Is he going to try and just chip that 9 and right hand English and try and get over to the right behind the 10? Oh, he's trying to get behind the 10 on the short side. Has he got there? Yes, that will do. Well, it's anybody's rack, but Acero's the favourite. That's John Higgins territory, Coatbridge. They're all Celtic supporters up there, by the way. None of these blue noses up that direction. And Acero has got his chance, and it's going to get him back to within 2. Well, if you're going to start to get going in a match, you might as well start to get going now if you're given the chance. But what he needs next is a break and a ball. He needs to get, I think he needs, if he gets a break and a ball and a shot and gets running, it could well get him right into the match. But until that break starts working, it's going to end up like this. He's having one shot. The saving grace this time is that McClarky doesn't have a shot on the 1. So looking at where's the best place to push. Well, again, the opportunity's staring right in the face to nail him right on that 6 ball. Just push the 1 through. We're going to call this the Potman shot from now on. Well, is he trying to punch it onto the rail and play the 10? Bullshit. Any true Scotsman would never have a bloody English flag. Get lost with that excuse. Well, he's called the 1. I don't know what he's doing. Is he trying to kick it in off the 10? Yes, he is. A good attempt at it. Good evening, Bill. Acero means steel in Spanish, as in metal. Presuming that's not the stubbish version of steel. Well, McClarky with a kick and the chip on the 1. But no shot in the 2. Well, this could be one of a few crucial racks to come here if McClarky can't get a hit and get this safe. And Well, he's failed on both counts there. First of all, he tried to get the 10 ball locked onto the 3. He's not managed that, and he's got the potman disease. It's spreading, it's catching. We'll call it potman 19. Or is that a bad taste joke, that one? But it doesn't matter. Acero has been given his opportunity, and it's another unforced error from a Clarky. The problem ball is going to be the 9. But the good thing though is that the 8 ball is fairly adjacent to the 9, which should make it a lot easier to get good on that 9 ball. But you certainly don't want to be playing high cuts on that 9. You want to get good on it. Now, well, if it was just to help the cue ball, he could come over here for the 8 into the middle. That's the plan he's got in mind. And the obvious one now is just to roll through for the 9 up the rail. He needs to get there. I still would have been preferred been on the rail. He should get this though, but he doesn't want to let the cue ball slip away. Oh, he's pushed it, and that's what happens. And all for, as the nun said to the Archbishop, all for 3 inches. Had he got that cue ball on the rail, that would never have happened, and that is a big mistake by Acero. And he was going to be breathing down McClarky's neck there, and he had to get that cue ball to the rail, and he failed, and that's what happens. He left himself in doubt with that little testy cut at the angle, and obviously thinking about the cue ball for the 10, and he's gifted a rack to McClarky, and he cannot afford to do it, and it's back to 7-4. And is that the mistake that may well cost him dear? It's a big mistake to make when he's staring at a rack. Had nothing else to do but just get rolled through onto the rail. So even if he'd overhit it slightly and rolled onto the rail and come off an inch, he still had been in a better position than he ended up. Big mistake. Sarah looking for the thin cut into the middle. This is a toughie. Is he calling that pocket? Yes, he is. Oh, this is a big shot as well. I mean, it's going to be a 2-5 combo if he lets the cue ball run. But yeah, it was too tough. But it's another. I mean, the difficulty there was actually trying to play that ball and get the cue ball safe anyway, so I think that's why he felt forced into having a go at it. Now, the problem with that shot is he's been able to get far enough to see the 2, and he has done. So the 2-5, very gentle, because you didn't want the 2 to end up along the rail. That's fine. And then the problem's probably going to be a 3-8 combo. I'm back. Well, he's done well getting the cue ball up there, and it's got him in prime position, although he's maybe just a wee bit straight, but he's going to have to cut the 6, but he's got all the room in the world to work with here. In fact, let's have a look at this end. Well, he can maybe just pinch a wee bit just to get the cue ball out to the right. He could have probably pinched a tiny bit more, but he's got the cut, and he's going to have to go across 2 rails here, get that cue ball out into the table and go for it full-blooded. He's a bit soft, and of course he's run into the 8, which doesn't help. So this one is the clincher. He's going to have to just gently pot this, because he just doesn't want to let the cue ball run too much. He should be fine. He's got plenty of room this bottom half of the table, but it's all in this shot. And again, never in doubt. Well, Acero should have been back within 1, but he's now staring at a 4 rack deficit here. Again, it's dry, and Acero's going to have to come up with a 1-6 combo to get him started. But if he can get this 1 and 6, provided again the 1 doesn't squirt away, well, it's a big draw. Well, as a neutral, I would like to see Acero get himself in the match. He had that chance there, and he's just gone a wee bit too far. I think we'd all like to see a bit of a match, but Clarky's playing pretty good. He's worth his lead, no doubt about that. I would like to see though how Clarky handles the pressure if it starts getting to the nitty gritty. Acero is desperate to take this out, and again, no reason why he shouldn't. There isn't a problem. It's all about keeping that cue ball right. Now the straighter he can get on that 7, the less that cue ball has to travel. So he's played the stun, but obviously with that angle he's running away from the 8, so this is the one that's even more awkward. He's dead straight in 8. He's going to pinch a wee bit. It's all about the pace. I think he's fine. We'll give him this. It's going to just get him back to within 3. But once again, I'll say it again, I'm going to repeat myself. He wants a ball and a shot, and he can't get them. It ain't happening for him. It's something like that will get him into the match. If he can get a ball, a shot, and look at that rack, that's slightly tilted. Where's the 3 ball? Oh, it's gone in, and he's on the 1. Well, the one's gone, and it would have helped if the 1 was on, but he's fine. He's got a shot in the 2. This might be the rack that gets him going. His prayer's been answered, or rather my prayer's been answered, because that's what I was hoping was going to happen. He got a ball and a shot, and he needs to watch this cue ball because he could lock himself behind, and he's trying to play it delicate to hold there because he was worried about going behind the 9, and that's why he's missed the 2. He was playing it gentle, and of course look at the cue ball. The cue ball was heading for a scratch there, and has acero's chance gone? Well, it will do in a minute if Clarky can cut this and still have a shot in the 5. Well, that's not going to get there. But did he play the safety? I don't think he did. I think he played the pot, and acero can see the 4, but he's bone straight. He's going to have to pinch a bit here. Yeah, he's having to pinch it, just cut it slightly, try and get the cue ball down. He's played it. Has he played it? Can he get there? I don't think he can. I don't think he can see enough of it. But you can bend it to make the angle. It's a brave shot to do it. You can pot this, but you have to bend it. I don't think he can pot it. My eyes must be getting really bad because he thinks he can pot it. Or is he playing? He hasn't called any other pocket, and he's playing right English, so I think he's just looking for cover here to try and bank it to the top rail as we look, and then get the cue ball down the table. No, he's now going left English. You think he's trying to make the angle now? No, he is playing safe. He's got me confused. Oh dear. Well, I think he was in 2 minds to do everything there. Well, that is a wee bit weak by Clarky. Now acero is going to have to ride his luck here if he's going to cut this, because he may well chip the 6, and it could end up really good or really ugly if he goes all out for it. How does that look from there? Yeah, there's no doubt he's going to hit the 6, but it looks a horrible cut. That's why when you look at it from that angle, it wasn't worth taking a risk. It's much better playing a half decent safety like that. When you're looking at it from here, it looked well, I mean the cut was on, but when you look at it from behind the shot, it looked a lot more difficult. Good evening to all the latecomers. That's you, Cobra. This match was unscheduled. As I said earlier, Clarky and acero decided to get it going at 5:20, so we've been on for exactly an hour, and acero's yet to get himself into this match, and he's got another chance. And the amazing thing is, he's still in it, in a way, because he hasn't lost it, which sounds obvious to say. And he had that chance here, getting the ball in the break, having a shot, and then it all come off the rails again. But this is yet another chance. another quick reminder, folks, I'm not going to check the lobby, but Seni and Chico are supposed to be playing their one lost side match at the top of the hour. So provided this match is still running, we'll go to the end of this match, and then if that other match starts, brackets, which I don't think it will, they can prove me wrong. I'm taking bets on neither player turning up. But it's due to start, and that's a race to 10, and when this is finished, if it is going ahead, then we'll go and watch the end of that one, and then I'll head for a cup of coffee, and then I'll go to bed. That is the plan. That's my night sorted out, folks. Really exciting. So the more important matter in hand is Acero is back to within 2, but the break is dry yet again. Yeah, I've got a bunch of nutcases for company on a Sunday night. Well, that's a good shot. Unlucky that he didn't get a wee bit of break there, but he can certainly play a good safety here. A little feather on the one. Now, Popman could never play this shot because it calls for controlling the pace. Well, I think that might be a bit of a boo-boo. Yes, it is. And Acero's ready to pounce. Oh, I'm going to never let Popman forget about that, what he done yesterday. And Cobra as well. Cobra's watching. In case you haven't seen it, folks, Cobra played his worst ever shot in Virtual Pool 4 yesterday. A pretty straight in 10 ball, and the numpty missed it because he was standing up taking a piss in front of his PC at the time. Semi hasn't lost. Semi won a match. I can't remember who he was playing. Oh, this is an important visit here. Really important for Acero's chances in this match. Now, I have to say as well, guys, I'm going to remind you that I was the only one at the beginning of this match who said that Acero would be the favourite. Everybody else, as far as I can see in the chat early on, was all calling it for Clarky. But things are starting to happen here. Well, I'll tell you that after this break. It's back to within 1 this time. It's still 8-7 to Clarky. 3 ball in the break. Oh dear, he's got a shot in the 1 as well, and he can nudge into the 4, hold for the 2. The 5 goes past the 9. It's all about getting on that 6 ball. Well, I tell a lie, it's all about getting on the 4 after he pots this 2. But he's got a chance. Did you say Acero, Keith? Well, me and you only then, I think. Oh, that has not gone according to plan, because I was thinking he would hit that pretty full in the face, unless he played a little bit of draw on it. I never looked at the shot, but I looked at the end result and it's not pretty. Well, the 2 goes, and of course as soon as they go to those knuckles they ain't going. And now has he got lucky? And no, he hasn't, so his chance is gone again. And that's the type of stuff that he cannot afford. Euphigenia Doubtfire. Oh my goodness me, disaster. Clarky's managed to hang the 2, and it's another lifeline for Acero, and he's stuck deep in the pocket, so it's the big draw and the hope. Oh, he's trying to use the angle. Nah, he's got a bit of luck there, the kiss off the 9. And he's got all the room he needs to get down the right hand side for the shot in the 5. Well, this is the most important rack since the last important rack that I talked about, because this is to square the match. And I think he's going a wee bit too far for comfort here. This is just making it a bit awkward. He would have much rather he could have played this clean and avoid any collisions with anything. Yeah, you see, there's the problem. That brush off the 9 has ruined it. Now what does he do? It's a second bite at the cherry for acero that he wasn't expecting, and he's thrown it away again. Now what's he going to call? Who are you going to call? Is he going to the bank? He's not called a pocket. I don't know what he's thinking here. I'm looking to see where he can go safe. So he's using up most of his minute shot clock thinking about it. I mean, if he pushes, see if he just pushes that 6 ball down towards the 7, he'll be in a lot of trouble, I would reckon, in his next shot. Well, he's made his mind up. He's going for the bank on the 6. This is the all or nothing shot, and of course he's still got to have that shot in the 7. But he's called it into the right middle pocket, and it quite simply has to go, and it's gone in. And how's his luck? It needs to slow up, and he's going to be hooked. Well, when they ain't running for you, they ain't running. And it's the old hit and hope here. I think he should call that corner pocket though. I thought he was going to try and squirt down the rail there, but looking at it again, I don't think there's enough room. Billy, he's calling any pocket will do. And he's looking to go 3 rails, I think, to kick in behind this 7. And just in case he thin cuts it, he's called that right middle pocket. And that's going to bounce into play. And has it gone behind the point? Don't tell me it's gone behind the point. Let's have a look. No, he's okay. I thought he'd hooked him there. But Acero's had 2 chances and he's blown them both. And he could have been back all square. It's not over yet, but it's about to be, this rack. But that is definitely costly not to get the job done, and that was all because of that 9 ball, because he got himself just the wrong shape. I think, was it the 5 he was potting? If he could have got that 5 clean without having to go into that 9 ball, he'd have been fine on the 6, and he would have ran out no problem, and it would have been all square, and all for that little bit of angle and those 2 other bites at the cherry that he didn't take out. He's now back to trailing 2. Well, McClarky's handed him a free go here, scratching the break, ball in hand. Now let's have a wee look at this table. Free ball is fine as long as you're this side of it. What else have we got? 4 ball in that right side rail, 5 down the bottom, 6 ball up at that end, so there's a wee bit of manoeuvring to get done here. He's just taking his time, having a look and getting a picture in his head of how he's going to run this table. Well, I'd certainly call you a bit of malware. You need a full virus scan stub, because there's certainly something lurking in your hard drive that needs to be quarantined. And that's a good shot. Well, I say a good shot, I think he's dead straight. He's brushed into the 7, and now we're back into the high cuts at distance territory, and he's not been able to do much with this cue ball because it's only going into one pocket, this 6 ball. And how's the pace? Well, he's played that excellently. That is beautiful. Now, can he get it done this time? Well, get the cue ball down onto the rail and then just come, well, off the rail. As long as you get an angle, it doesn't matter. But so end rail, side rail, and out for the 10. So once again, and this time it was the unforced error. It was a scratch in the brake from Clarky, and Acero's taking his chance this time, and again wants a ball and a shot. 5 ball goes in, 7 is hanging. Now that 3 ball may well have ruined it, but he can play a dead weight billiard onto the 7. He needs to play it dead weight because that cue ball may well follow it in, but it's a billiard off the 1. Very gentle. Well, he's playing a draw, is he? No, I don't know whether they didn't think he could get to the 7 by just playing the billiard, but he played the draw to try and stun the cue ball onto the 7. And I suppose the end result isn't bad. He'll take that because the 7's still hanging. Well, now then, the cut is on. Clarky's left the shot, and provided that acero can avoid running into the 4, he just needs to get to the left rail for the 2-7. Now what about the 3 ball? Well, the 3 ball will certainly go in to that corner if he needs to, and the shot that he's going to end up here is probably going to be that he's going to have to pass that 3 ball past the 4, unless he fancies getting the cue ball up the table. Yeah, I forgot to change it again. It doesn't matter. Well, the reason I've got an excuse this time though. My excuse this time is I wasn't even planning to do any streaming, so everything was last minute. Blame Clarky for that. He's the one that told me they were going to play. But this is more important. And Acero's landed on the 6. Now, the problem with this shot is you would want to help it around to get on the wider side of the 8, but the chances are you're going to end up on the short side if you're going to play it the common sense way, and you're always risking a scratch doing that. But he's now got a really tough cut on this 8, and the cue ball of course running, and it needs to bounce, and I think he's good. Well, finally we have a tied ball game at the right time for Acero, and he's now in the thick of it. And now we've got a match on. Oh, that two's kicked to 7. He's got an awkward cut again on this one. Oh, this is a toughie. And of course he's only going to have a 2-4 combo after it. Well, this is, I don't think he's got an awful lot of options other than to have a go at it, because he's got the ball in the break. He's got half a shot to go for. Yeah, really tough. But the end result is he's got good use of that 2 and 4 ball. Well, it's not difficult to hit the one, because you can just squeeze onto it off that knuckle on the right hand side. If you get really lucky, you might get a double kiss and the one drops in. Let's have a look. Oh, you can hit the one every day of the week. In fact, he might be able to kick that one in. Oh, that's a beautiful shot. He's played it with a little bend. That's excellent. It's unlucky though. I wish I had my replay. I wish I had broadcaster working. I would have had that in a replay there. But that was very well played by McClarky, but unfortunate. He's ended up with no shot. Well, he'll settle for that. That will do. No major damage done here. No, because I'm working with one hand at the moment. Oh, bedheads there, I never noticed you arrive. Well, he went all out for the pot, but that was a 1 out of 10 shot, that one. Well, he can certainly cheat the pocket. The 2 goes, but the cue ball's wanting to run away to the left. And is he prepared to put enough into this cue ball? I mean, he could actually probably draw across and have the 3 into the same pocket. Maybe even into the middle. Yeah, he's digging in. Well, he's on it into the opposite middle, and he's going to have to move the cue ball to avoid collisions here. Well, he's quite happy to play collisions because anything can happen. Well, this is now important for McClarky, because he's seen Acero somehow get himself back into the match. Where's the cue ball going? The John Virgo call, and in it goes. And Acero can take the lead with ball in hand. Needs to miss the 8. It's gone wrong. Anything but hitting the 8 ball. Well, he's got half a pocket. It will go. Well, he's looking at the cut in the middle, but he does have half a pocket past that 9. Well, he's called it into the opposite middle. Yeah, that's just asking too much, but I think he's got it safe. Or has he? Well, that's not bad. It's a toughie from distance, but I think McClarky has to go for it. But he's not interested. But Acero will certainly be calling the bank. Now maybe that, I mean that 8 ball was off the rail. And oh, Slim's arrived, good evening. That was off the rail. Stubb would have went for the cut. And Acero meanwhile has missed the bank. Again, it's another tester for McClarky. He's going to be on the 9. And in it goes. Look where the 10 ball is, folks. Remember what I say. If you get too much into this, you end up low in the 10 with no shot practically. But he's played it well. The pace is excellent. And it's going to be McClarky getting to double figures and still holding off Acero. And Acero once again getting himself out of shape, and it's cost him. Oh yeah, straight in 10 ball. That's how you pot them. So McClarky got the 9 ball in the break. Well, this is a delicate little shot. Cue ball. Is he going the right side? Yes, he's going the right side. Again, the pace is pretty good to me. The only problem is he needed to go a wee bit more, because he cannot avoid running into that 5. Well, he could probably draw off it if he wants. Yep, he's chipped it. Couldn't really avoid it. And this is a tough one. Big power shot here needed. Has he got the lucky break? Oh, well, he's going to have to call the combo. It's a cut 5 onto the 7, and he can just barely see the 5. Well, that 7 should still go in off the jaw if he just plays it nice pace. Oh, he's filled the 10. Goodness me, it was tight. Or what, did he fill the 10? No, he didn't. Well, that's even worse. Acero's hook behind. I thought that was a foul. And Albie was here earlier. He's probably fallen asleep. He doesn't say a lot. He says hello and then says nothing else. Well, Acero looking for the kick shot. Probably 2 rails to get to this 5. Down behind the 10 ball. And needs the luck. Well, there's nothing easy. The 5 goes past the 10 into the top left or into that top right, but neither are easy. He needs to be careful with this cue ball here. I think he's alright looking at it. Oh, it's closer than I thought, but he's got the 5 and he's still got the shot in the 6. Well, this could be one of these crucial racks again, and it's happening at the right time for Clarky, but he got an awful bit of luck there. Well, Acero did, and it was all bad luck, getting hooked right behind the 6 from that attempted combo that Clarky played. But it's Clarky that's going to open the gap again, and Acero has got all the work to do to stay on this side of the bracket. Well, somebody do me a favour, guys. Have a look at the lobby and see if Senny's there and Chico's are there, because we've got about what 12 minutes or so before their match is due to start. See if my bet still stands. Oh, Senny's here. Well, I'll give him his due. He's here. He could sit. I mean, it's not the first time Senny's been in the lobby and been asleep and not joined the tournament. He signed up for tournaments where that's happened, and I'm pretty certain he did that with me when we were partnered up for, I don't know whether it was 9-ball doubles or whatever it was, but he left me strung out to dry one time. Yeah, Chico won't show. What age is she today? She's about 16 or what? Well, Clarky trying to force something to break open the 4. Brave attempt, but an easy safety, and Acero is right up against it now in more ways than one. Acero usually does kick pretty good. I think he's one of these, you know that Japanese billiard game, what was it called? Karom 3D or something like that. I think it's dead and gone now, but I'm pretty certain he must have played that game. Most of the Japanese guys that are interested in the pool games on PC, I'm pretty certain most of them have played that Karom 3D thing that used to be about. And he's usually, well, I say usually, I've just put the spanner in the works there. He's missed a kick. It's ball in hand, and it's going to be 12-9, because I can't see where Clarky's going to mess this up. Who's Crow? Is that Dubrovnik guy? Well, this is going to be the one that will decide a rack. If Clarky can get up onto the 7, and he's got again a good angle to do it, to get across to the right off this 6. Oh, he's missed the 6, but has he got lucky? Well, this is another awkward shot. Got to draw to the rail and just stop the cue ball squirting away. He's played it well. Well, this is another lifeline that Acero didn't think he was going to get, but it was always going to be the problem. Getting down for that 7 ball for Clarky. Yeah, Tin can check all the emails. He checks all the proposals, and the proposals get sent on to me to let me know when matches are starting. But he'll have all of them in his inbox. He can look at anything you want him to check. Well, it's back to within one, and acero has got a ball in a break. And if that 2-ball stays out the way, and it hasn't, and he was on there for the 1 and getting no joy. Just when you need that little bit of running, you get the ball in the break, you've got the 1 wide open, and then the 2-ball comes to scupper the shot, but he's played a good safety. That is very well played. Well, this match is now boiling up. It's simmering at the moment, coming to the boil. Well, it's a good hit by McClarky, but he's left the shot. Now acero will just drop the 1 in, play the 2 in, pass the 4 into the middle. He'll be on the 3, but the problem is the 3-ball. The reason I say that is it's getting out from the 3-ball to get a shot in the 4. Well, he's sitting okay, but the shot to decide the rack maybe is going to be the next one. If he can get out. Now if he could get right onto the rail, he could probably thin this 3-ball way inside to make sure he doesn't run into those balls. I think he can play that shot. He doesn't want to get this thick, he just wants to just chip it and bring the cue ball straight back up if he can. Well, he's managed to do it just hitting it plain ball. That was well done. Always risky that he could just have chipped into that 5-ball, but he's okay. And of course we all know what the next important shot is. How does he get to this 8-ball? Now if he leaves that angle, well, he's took a risk there, big risk. He's still got the same problem though. He's got a huge distance to travel to get anywhere near this 8-ball, and it's top and left hand English, thump the 7 in, hit the side rail, top rail, left side rail, and get across. And I think his pace is pretty good. He's nailed it. That is an excellent shot. Very well played indeed. Perfect little angle. Needs to get there though. Well, I would have preferred to overhit that. He's left it short, and he's got the wrong angle in the 9. Now does he check this and come across twice with inside? Nope, he's preferring just to leave the cut. Managed to hold it. The pace is good. Gentle control gets him there, and this to tie the match again. This time 11 racks all. Where's the cue ball? Cue ball scratched, and a ball has gone in the break. That's the worst possible outcome, and all the balls are spread, and McClarky, ball in hand, cannot afford to miss and shouldn't do. And the only problem ball is the 5. Again, that's just what you hope not to do when you get your break. Scratching the break, and then to make matters worse, he gets a ball in the break as well. And that's pretty good. Little stunt. Get the cue ball off the rail though. Well, no, he's just rolling it in. And he's just going to have to roll this 6 ball in, because the 7 goes past the 9. And a little stunt. Well, is he wanting to run through? He looks as if he wants to run through, take that 8 ball into the right middle. That might have been the idea, but he's gone too far. He's overhit it. Now these are the testers. Anywhere on these knuckles, it ain't going in. And well, he's double checking the 9 ball. Going to have to reset himself. And there you go, folks. Anywhere near the knuckles at that pace, it ain't going. Is Chico here? Well, that's a miracle. Well, yeah, well, he's arrived at the right time. It's 2 minutes to go. Well, it looks as if I've been proved wrong for once. But things are building up here. Well, this is the one that can go wrong though, because it's got to be either top and right and go over to that right middle pocket, or it's the draw. I prefer going around. Oh, that knuckle's done him a favour. That's got him very nicely on the 10. And this is a Cobra shot. There's a wee bit more angle on it than what Cobra had, I think. But Acero demonstrating how to pot the 10 ball again. And it takes him into the lead. 12 racks to 11. And he's got a ball in the break, and he's got a shot, albeit a toughie. So easy just to push that 1 and clip the 7. But I think if he rides his luck here, he'll brush off the 10, and he should see the 2. You've just got to play this gentle, pocket weight, little cannon, and hopefully for Acero's sake, that little brush to leave him on the 2. And it's all gone wrong, but it's all gone safe, and he won't bother about that. It wasn't easy, but that was the sort of pace he had to play. He was just hoping to get maybe a thicker contact on that 10. Well, what do you do here? Do you go all out? Oh, I'm beginning to get excited, Slim, I can assure you. Oh, Cobra's woke up again. He's still having nightmares about that 10 ball. And I went and mentioned it again. That's a good shot. That's an excellent shot from Acero. And that 3 ball isn't a problem. Well, it isn't a problem as long as you're over that side. It's a problem if you don't get anywhere near it. But it certainly goes. And Clarky looking. And of course the 5 ball's in the way as well on the right hand side. You'd want to go right hand side to get to that 1 ball. And Clarky didn't think it was worth the risk trying to get there. He'd much prefer trying to tie things up. And that's actually not a bad result. He didn't get anything locked up, but it's still a lot more difficult now to get any sort of shot on that 3. Now Acero needs to bounce. That's way short though, and he's got himself in trouble. Well, it's a very thin edge around the angles, and get that cue ball down to here and leave the 2 ball somewhere up there. Very thin. Trying to use the 4 ball again. The pace is excellent, and that's got McClarky in trouble. Well, his eyes must be better than mine, and they certainly are, because I would have never hit that. But he's left the cut, but the 3 ball is the problem. Is Popman still there? Because Cobra's miss wasn't as bad as Popman's 5 misses at actually trying to get a ball to a rail. Well, I don't think Acero can get this enough and actually get the cue ball enough to go over and nudge anything. Yeah. And in the end he didn't get the 2 to the hole. It's rattled in the jaws. Now, again, where the 2 ball is, I don't think it's there's anything on to get anywhere near this 3. It's just a straight draw, but the next shot that Acero's going to have isn't going to be pretty. Well, it might not be, because if I didn't think he could actually get any of those balls, but he could have just played the punch shot and send the 3 around the table. He can't do that now, and he's going to be in trouble. He's opened the door, and Acero will tuck this 3 ball away. It's going to be an easy kick though, unless Acero can find the cue ball a place to hide, and he's only got 1 ball to do it behind the 5. Well, he's gone the other way, but as I say, it's an easy kick. There's no real pressure on McClarky with this shot. And likewise, the same again, although it might be more difficult to escape here. He might, I don't think he can get away from it this time. And he doesn't want to leave McClarky the easy opportunity to put him in trouble, so there's a dilemma here for Acero. He has to be careful. That 10 ball is going to hit thick, and he can't get the 3 past the 10 because it's blocking, and he doesn't want to leave himself vulnerable, so he needs to find a way so he doesn't leave that opportunity for McClarky. Well, he may well be in trouble, because he can push off the edge and go over to the 4. And now Acero is in trouble, and I don't know whether there's enough room to get to that rail and chip it. And again, if he plays a deliberate foul, McClarky's going to go for the 3 fouls. It's going to be easy to do that, so the odds are stacked against Acero here from this position. Any suggestions, guys? Because I've got none. Well, that's a bloody great shot that he managed to hit that and hit it legally. That is a fantastic shot. Well, there's a mistake, and there's the gap, but the 3 ball is frozen. Now what does Acero do? Because I think he's going to nudge the 6, yep, and it has to get to the rail. And once again, the pace is excellent, and that is now, well, opened up the game slightly. The chances are it's going to be a 9-10 combo, and it could take Acero to the hill, or it could get McClarky back all square. But that 9-10 is not exactly set, but not far off it. Now what's he thinking here? He's called the 10. Is he trying to chip the 3, come down and nudge the 9 onto the 10? This will be some shot. Oh, well, I think I was getting a bit excited, but he had other things in mind here. He's got the pace right and he's got it safe using that 5 ball. But that has changed the setup with the 9 and 10, because that 9 is tight, but it goes past the 10, can be cheated off the rail. Well, if you go off the end rail and you kick the 3, you're just, well, I think he's hit that too soft, but it's not easy. But the idea would have been right, that if you had the weight right, just to push that 3 right onto this bottom rail. But this is a tester to start off my Clarky's visit. And he would well, again, it's another one, another test of nerve. And then it goes, and he's dropped onto the 5, and now he has the angle on the 5 to come down to the bottom half. Doesn't matter where he ends up, as long as he's on a shot in the 6. He's got to have a shot on the 7. He's having a look at the 9 right now, that's what he's doing. He's just double checking that the 9 goes, but we know the 9 goes. That goes every day of the week. It can easily be cheated in off the rail, but you have to get here on it. When you're over here trying to cut that 9, it's a different story. Well, what the hell's he thinking here? Does that 6 go past the 10? Maybe that's what he was looking at. I never even thought of that. Well, that's tight, but it does go. I thought he'd have just been simpler coming up the table for the 6 into the middle. Well, now he's got to move the cue ball. Well, he's got a roundabout way of doing things, but that certainly wouldn't have been my choice of shot. Much easier to get into the middle of the table. But now he's left himself the toughie. And like I say, he does not want to be playing this 9 ball from the right hand side of the table, but that's the way the cue ball's going. And this is the one that you don't want when you're trying to cut that 9 and cheat it down the rail from that angle. This will be a good shot. There's just enough room, but where's the cue ball going? And that's the problem. And he wouldn't have had that problem had he been able to get good on the 9. So it's all out for the bank, and he's going to have to make it. He's going to have to push it just to the right of that middle diamond to make the angle, because it's not set. Well, this is another crucial rack, but to get him back all square, and it ain't there, and acero is going to go to the hill. And I still say that Clarky chose the wrong shot. He had to get into the middle of the table to make it easier to get on that 9, and that has cost him severely. Commentators, I said, if you're playing that 9 ball from the left hand side and trying to cut it, not only are you going to make the shot difficult, but the positional shot was going to be even more difficult. And that's exactly how it's turned out. I could see that coming, and it's a major blow for Clarky's chances now, because acero has broke off. No, he shouldn't. No, the problem started when he didn't get up the table for the 6 ball into the middle. He decided he was I thought he was looking at the 9 past the 10, but he was looking at the 6 past the 10 to squeeze it down into that corner. And he had every chance to get that cue ball into the middle of the table, take the 6 into the middle, so he could get pretty straight on the 9. Because then all his positional shots after that would have been much, much easier. And that's where it all fell apart. And to me, the wrong shot choice was playing the 6 long. He had to get into the table. Anywhere in the middle of the table, he was potting that 6 in the middle pocket. And to take the 6 long was the recipe for disaster, and it all just went off the rails big time. And meanwhile, McClarky has found himself back at the table, and it's no miss 10 ball as far as McClarky's concerned, and he's gone way square. Oh, he's actually, oh, he's not so bad, but again, it's a, this is, well, that looks ugly from here though, doesn't it? This is a tester. Oh shit, I'm forgetting he's on the 4. See, I'm getting so excited now, I'm forgetting how many balls are left. And McClarky's now hanging on by his fingertips, but he should be out. Well, that's gone dead straight. He doesn't want to be taking any liberties here. So just drop the 9 in and drop the 10 in to get back to within 1. So this is the most important break of the match for McClarky. He gets a ball. In fact, he's got a couple of balls in the break, but that's not the important thing. The important thing is he's got absolutely nothing on that 1 ball. He's stone dead. What went in? I thought 2 balls. And yes, there was. We've lost the 5 and we've lost the 9. And now McClarky's looking for somewhere to play a push that won't invite Acero into having a go. Well, the 1 ball is guarded by the 8 on this side, so he can obviously play down into the corner. Now what does Acero do? Does he put him back in? Does he try and kill the cue ball behind the 3 and punch the 1 past the 8 up behind the 8 and go for the lock-up? Is he brave enough to go for that? Or is he even dafter to play a long combo in the 8? Well, he's not called anything, but he's maybe going for the shot I'm talking about. Well, that's gone all wrong. Well, it hasn't from that point of view, because I can see the pace he's played it to play it dead in the rail. I thought he was trying to play the little kill there. Well, that's the ultimate mistake. It's the pot man mistake again, folks. And McClarky hasn't got a ball to a rail, and he's gifted ball in hand to Acero. And Acero has his chance to win the match, and that could be the fatal shot, apart from the last one in that last rack, that may well lose McClarky this match. Now Acero's gone the wrong side of the 3, and look where the 4 is. And look, there's traffic in the way as well. He's going to have to take evasive action here to get to this 4. There still might be a chance for McClarky. He's having to avoid the traffic, and he has to get there. And I think we'll say that is pretty damn good. Little gentle cut so the cue ball doesn't squirt away too far. And he should be home and dry as long as he gets up to here. He wants as shallow an angle on this 7 as he can, just to drop it in and go down. And that isn't it. That is not the shot. There's still a chance for McClarky. This is dead weight. The pace is good. Oh dear, Well, acero has come good in the end, and the two fatal mistakes were made in the last two racks that have cost McClarky the match, and it's acero who goes through by 14 racks to 12. Well, that was the end result, was going to be close, and in the end, when you're talking about not making those mistakes, that choice of shot by McClarky on that 6 ball was the wrong one for me. I don't know whether he'll agree with me, but if he looks at the video, he might think twice. And then of course not getting to a rail on that safety was the other fatal mistake, and acero has come good. So well played, and in actual fact, up until those last two shots there, McClarky played pretty damn good as well. He was pretty solid. Well, the stream isn't over, folks. We're going to have a look at this Chiku match and see, well, basically I haven't a clue who this Chico guy is. Let's have a look and see where he's from. Where's he from? Sounds South American to me. Is it where's that? Yeah, Chile. Yeah. And Senny from Scotland. So where are we? We've got Senny up by 3 racks to 1. Senny calling the billiard onto the 10. It's now, sorry, Chiku. It's now 3-2. What was that, Rob? Did not hit the 1 ball. Now a reminder that this is a 1-loss side match, so it's a race to 10. I don't think it'll be quite the same standard, but you never know. Doesn't have to be the highest quality to end up in an exciting match. Were you talking about that last mistake by McClarky, Rob? Because I thought it was I thought it wasn't getting a ball to a rail, unless I saw the foul wrong. Ah, right, got you. He was trying to get it thin. See, that's the old eyes going as well. See, I wonder if McClarky will look at that part of the video and whether he'll agree with what I said. Now, obviously, hindsight's a great thing, but if you're thinking clearly, then you know you've got the much easier option in getting that cue ball right into the heart of the table to go on that 6 and make that 9 ball a lot easier. If your pattern takes you over to that left hand side, the one I'm talking about was the 9 ball being here and the 10 ball being here and the 9 ball squeezing down the rail. As soon as you get a cue ball over here and have to play that shot, you make it 10 times difficult. And with the 10 ball being there, the cue ball can only go that direction, and that's what ended up. Now that 6 ball in that rack was there, so he had the angle to get the cue ball up here, drop the 6 in, drop the 9 in, come back for the 10 into the same pocket. That was the image that I had in my head when I looked at the table. Well, it was only worse from the point of view that it was a wrong shot choice. He didn't make a bad miss, but It was just that the pattern in my head, I mean, when I look at a table, and when everybody who plays the game to any sort of half decent level, I would say I'm half decent, but the eyes have gone, so everything else goes after it. But you look at the pattern and how you can get to a ball and plan your way out. Well, I think you, I'm not going to draw that again, but I think you get my drift in what I was talking about. But the natural shot would be just get the cue ball up the table so that you can get yourself close to that right rail and play the 9 down past the 10, because you cannot fail to get on the 10 by doing it that way. And why McClarky did not see that, I don't know, but that was the major failing. And again, with some players, that's where they're missing out. They can pop balls, and up until that point, McClarky had played pretty well all the way through the match. And if you're going to make bad mistakes or bad choices, you don't want to be doing them at that time. And I'm afraid that was it until he made that mistake that Rob was talking about in their final rack to give ball in hand to Acero, because Acero, well, you know, these Japanese players, they certainly can hold their nerve, and Acero came good in the end. He held it all together to take the run out, and it was well won in the end, because Acero didn't really get into the match. I mean, for most of the match he just couldn't really get going, and but he just stayed in there until the bitter end, and the mistakes came at the wrong time for McClarky. Well, this match we've got Senny in the lead by 4 racks to 3. Chiku, you see, this is a problem with other players who are at a lower level, is actually getting that position. He's now having to call a bank. Oh, there's McClarky there. Now, did you listen to any of what I said, or have you just joined? Because I can say it again. Because it'd be interesting to hear what you have to say. Excuse me. That second last rack that you had with the 9 and 10 ball on the side rail, earlier on in the rack I had looked at the 9 just to let the guys know that that the 9 would pass to 10, and when I seen you looking around, I was thinking that you were looking that the 9 would go past to 10. What I didn't think, what did not cross my mind, was that you were looking at the 6 to see if the 6 would go past to 10. Now, probably most of the guys thought what I was thinking, that you was it the 5 ball you were playing first, because you could get the cue ball up the table to play the 6 ball into the right middle, so that you could just roll to the rail and then just pot the 9 and just draw back for the 10 into the same pocket. And it then caught me by surprise when you then played position for the 6 past the 10, and it was only then that I looked to see that the 6 would go past the 10. But that's the one that got me flummoxed, because then you were going out of shape, and then when you had to play that cut in the 9, or was it the 7? I can't remember now, but anyway, the shot that you left yourself in the 9 meant that the cue ball was only ever going across the table, and you were going to leave yourself nothing but a choice of a bank that was not set. And I just said at the time that it was just the wrong shot choice to play the 6 past that 10 ball. And it's amazing how people see things different. Who's 56 this month? Was that you, Cobra? I was 56 last month. Not last month, this is still this month. What month are we in now? We're in September, aren't we? Aye, right, I was 56 on August the 18th. See, that's what happens when you get to 56, you don't even know what bloody month it is. Well, this is a good call. And I bet you're blonde as well, bedhead. What's the score in this match now? Senny leading by 5 racks to 3. Now, you look at this table and you say, right, well, you should be running this table. And Chiku trailing by... No, what is that? Is that a 3 or a 2? Because my eyes have totally gone, it's a 2. I'll drop the 7 in. There was no need to go there. So now, again, a little soft draw off this 8 ball, but you've got to dig down and you've got to get this flush. And that's, well, the knuckle again has come to the rescue. We had one of them earlier on in the last match, didn't we, where the knuckle just came into play. And that's pretty good. And Chiku is going to get one back. Chiku from Chile. Now Chile will be about, now how does the time zones work? I'm reckoning Chile's right over on the west coast of South America, so he's got to be at least, what, 7 hours behind, so it's probably about round about midday, something like that, his time. Because Los Angeles is 8 hours behind, so he's probably not far off a similar time zone. Push out played. Chiku doesn't like it, so he's put Senny back in. Now, while these guys are playing at the moment, let's have a quick look at the bracket just to catch up with what's actually happening for anybody that hasn't had a chance. We've got Moz through to round 3. Moz ended up getting advanced. I don't know whether, I heard Tin saying something earlier on, whether he's going to try and reset this match. I don't know what the outcome of that will be, but we've got Mr. Bill set to play Albinario. They've still to arrange their time. They've got until September the 11th, the 13th to get that done. The match that we've just seen was between McClarky and Acero, and Acero now will meet Larry, and Larry is going to have a test against Acero. And Semi-Pro, having coming through the match against Popman, is waiting on the winner of Mr. Fox and Bedhead, and that should be an interesting match as well. We've got LS3, who is through to round 3, and he's waiting, or he or she is waiting on the winner of Interchange X and Stub. And again, that match may well go ahead and I won't be able to see it. What was that there? Moz and Jose will be reset. Oh well, Well, tell them to reset it for a half bloody decent time instead of midnight, for goodness sake. Mind you, the problem with that is that Moz is in Texas, so there's a big time zone difference between the two of them. We've also got Mooncake through to round 3, having had the advance by Chiku forfeit in the first match, and Mooncake plays Sergresh in round 3. We have Spectre Dawn against Shaft Tracks, and that match is set for September the 10th. What's today's date? The 6th. So that's what day is that? Is that Thursday? Sunday the 6th, Monday the 7th, Tuesday the 8th, Wednesday the 9th, Thursday the 10th. I'll be able to get that match in the afternoon. And then we have a first round match still to be arranged between second round match between Brain Fallout and Bankster. Bankster I've never heard of. Sky Bitter against Ice Age in round 2, still to be arranged. Sargo against Jover, still to be arranged in round 2, and Hazard is waiting in round 3. And he's waiting on the winner of Christian and Party Marty, and they're arranged to play tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. Right, what have we got in the one loss side? If we go up the bracket, well, we've got the match between Snake Eyes and VP Monster. Now that is arranged for September the 12th at 3 PM. What day is that? Somebody remind me what day that is. If this is the 6th, what's 6 days away? Is that Friday? Is that the Friday? Well, I'll be able to get that one as well, I think. And I think that is pretty much it. That is the bracket up to date. Saturday, is it? Well, that should still be okay. Back to the match. Senny with a 6-3 lead. Now, is he going to be cute enough to find this gap, or is he going to do the big draw? There's a gap between the 9 and 10. Well, I think he tried to get around the angles and up past the 8, but he hasn't got there. The 12th's a Sunday. Well, this is the 6th. This is a Sunday. 6 and 6 is 12. So if it's a 12th, it's a Saturday, is it not? Anyway, I'll worry about it near the time. I'm beginning to get tired, but Chiku has ball in hand. Senny kicking at the 4, scratching off the 4. And once again, he has to take this out. All the balls have pockets. He's going to have to play the gentle cut. He's got the 2 or 3 rails just to get onto this 7. So the 13th, aye, let's have another look at that. What was that one I was talking about? Aye, the 12th. So that's this Saturday coming at 3 in the afternoon between VP Monster and Snake Eyes. Again, that'll be a good match between the two of those guys. Expect it to be fairly interesting. I'll definitely get that one. Well, what happened there? He's hung up the 8, and that is a chance that Chiku cannot afford to be wasting. Who's Popman saying hello to again? Yes, he did show up. He proved me wrong, because I was taking bets neither of them would show up this time. Oh, good evening, Mooncake. Who are you saying hello to, Potman? Ah, right. Got you. I thought your memory had got that bad you were just saying hello again because you couldn't remember you'd said hello when you arrived here about 2 hours ago. So the brake is dry, and Senny building up a comfortable lead. Remember, it's a race to 10, so Chico needs to start taking the chances he's getting. He took one earlier on, but he failed big time in this last rack, hanging up the 8 ball. Now you see that little shot there, Potman? That was pushing the ball through, getting the ball to a rail and getting a snooker. Oh yes, it's that time of night, folks. I am beginning to shut down. The brain is beginning to go. Nice little cut in the 1, finding the gap to get on the 2. Now, he's certainly not going to be doing much with the 3 ball where it's sitting. Now is he calling the combo, or is he pushing through, getting that 3 ball up the table? Yeah, that's the plan. Hasn't got the cover, but he hasn't left anything easy. So Senny's got his chance. Now can he get into this enough at that angle and draw off it? No, probably not. Just to hold for the 4. Maybe he can. Yes, he can, as long as he doesn't scratch or hook himself. And he's scratched. So once again, it's another opportunity. This will be the 3rd that we've seen and what we've watched in this match, with Chico at the table, ball in hand, and he's rushing far too quickly here. That's never a good sign. You cannot be just having a go at shots where you've not even set yourself for a shot. Senny won't be bothered, but it's another chance. Oh, hi. Well, I was watching a Formula 1 race today, and I had a good stream for it. It was actually perfect, and it was like everybody thought. I was playing, who was I playing? I was playing Tornado Tam at Cowboy at the time, getting my arse handed to me, and I was saying to him, oh, the F1's on, I'm watching the race. He says, oh, tell me when it's over, it'll be another win for Hamilton. And I told him at the time, I says, well, it ain't going to be the case, because Hamilton was way out in front. We then had the safety car, we then had that big accident, and then we then also had the incident where 2 cars had gone into the pit, and we thought nothing of it until they then said, ah, but the red lights were on. Now, if you know how Monza is, there's the big sweeping bend that comes round into the final straight, and on that bend on the far side, bearing in mind you're travelling at 180 miles an hour at the time, which is where I feel a bit of sympathy for the 2 drivers, but they come hurtling round the bend. There's a couple of red lights on the far side, and when those lights are on, that means the pit is closed. You cannot enter the pit. So around comes Hamilton and whoever else it was, I can't remember. The two of them head into the pit, and they do the necessary in the pit, and then they come back out onto the track with a safety car, and then the next thing we hear, there's going to be a penalty for the two of them. Hamilton ends up getting a 10-second stop-go penalty in the pits, so he ends up stone dead last in the race, and he was when he got back out onto the track, he was 30 seconds behind the leader, and then he actually finished in the points. So he did. So that's how anything can happen in a Formula 1 race. Just when you think it's just going to be a procession, strange things happen. And that was Gasly, I think, won his first ever Grand Prix today as well. So that was another first. I might be wrong, but I don't ever remember him winning a Grand Prix, let alone being in a podium. Well, it's now 8-3 for Senna, and I think it's just going to be a matter of time before this match is done and dusted. Now, who does Senna go through to play? Where's that match on the bracket? Well, Senna will have a wait. He'll have quite a long wait before he sees another opponent. I've got it. It's actually pretty good. I mean, I think it had been about 3 or 4 years since I had F1. I've got it, and I've got it. I'm using the Xbox controller because, believe it or not, I can drive better with the controller than I can with the wheel, and that's mainly because I cannot be asked just adjusting all the sensitivity in my wheel. Although there's no problem, it detects the wheel no problem, but I actually drive better with the controller. And I've started a season. I'm actually I think I'm still in practice at the second Grand Prix. I think in the Australian one I finished where the hell did I finish? Did I finish like 10th or something? Now I've got it, because I don't drive in these racing games, I've got it in not quite numpty mode, but I've got the AI set where I can be competitive in qualifying. I think I qualified like 5th or something in the grid in Australia, and I'm doing, what is it, Abu Dhabi, that's the second one. I'm actually in the middle of qualifying for it. I haven't played it for about a week, but no, it's actually pretty good. There's a new game come out today. One of these American racing drivers, what's his name? It came out a couple of days ago. I noticed it up in the websites, but it's all this dirt racing on oval tracks. Is it something Stewart? What's his name? Something Stewart. There's also a drifting game come out as well. I can't remember the name. He's something Stewart. Tony Stewart. I don't know whether it's that. That rings a bell. It might be him. Well, Larry will know. Larry will be right. Yeah, him. And it's like 20, 25 or 26 different tracks. I watched a guy playing it earlier on the website, and then there's some sort of drifting game that's out as well. Well, Chico's got another chance. The thing about the F1 game is that the sort of monotonous thing, the things that you don't like doing, are still part of it. In the last version that I got had the same thing where you have to do the you know, dialing in your fuel consumption and all of that stuff, and then taking the corners and going through the sort of gates at the corners to build up your points so that you can use them to improve your car. There's all of that stuff that you still do in practice. You've got all the sort of 5 or 6 different tasks that your team asks you to do during practice. But the main reason I haven't done it all is simply because I just haven't done it, because it takes a wee while to do it. But of course, for me, I don't do things half measures with these games. Whenever I've had a Formula 1 game, I'm never going to race a Formula 1 Grand Prix and do over 20 laps. I do the full boona, or not at all. So I've got it set to full qualification, all of that stuff. But it just takes time to do it. It would mean like giving up Eurotruck for like 6 months and sticking with F1, which I'm not prepared to do. And I haven't been online with it either, because I'm crap. I'd just get in people's way online. Well, Senny should be on the hill. And only Senny could pot this 10 ball and find a way to scratch, because he'll no roll it in dead weight, but in this case he has done. So that takes him to a 9-4 lead, race to 10 only on the 1 loss side. And I'm going to go have a coffee and a biscuit, and I don't know what's on the TV. I'm going to have a little break, and then it'll be pretty much beddy bye time at some point in the not too distant future. Well, this was unexpected today. I had no plans for any streaming, even though there was some other matches arranged on the bracket for a few days time. What do you mean stamina? I lasted 6 hours and 2 minutes yesterday. So I did. I went all the way. I'll tell you something, I was there for the whole stream yesterday. I bet most of you guys that were there weren't there for the whole stream. Proved me wrong in that one. I mean, half of them. I mean, I was looking at the figures. There was yeah, I know it says that, but I explained that earlier because I didn't know this match was going ahead. I was in a snooker room. I had a snooker room up on my own because I was testing my old G5 mouse again. Next thing I know, I'm getting a PM from my Clarky saying me and Acero are about to arrange a time for our match. I said, well, I was about to arrange a time for my dinner. And as soon as I heard that, I quit the room. I went down the stairs. I nuked something in the microwave. What was it again that I had? I'm trying to remember. I can't even remember what I ate. What did I have? I had what the hell was it I had again? It was ham, something ham with potatoes and peas. I can't remember what the hell it was I had for my dinner. And anyway, I had that, rushed back up the stairs, checked the bracket, saw that they hadn't set the time for the match, and then I set up the stream. So this was totally unexpected, so I didn't get a chance to change all the settings in the stream. So if it says American Truck Simulator, I don't give a shit. There you go. Anybody that looks in is going to be hooked into Virtual Pool 4 instead. I'll get that changed for the next one, I can guarantee you. Well, are we going to have the 10 ball called? I think we are. It'll be a 3-10 combo if you can squeeze it past the 4 or billiard onto the 10, one of the two. He's got to pot the 2 ball first though. Well, that's worked out perfect. Now, did he play that? But the cannon right onto the 9 has nailed him right on the 3 ball. So 10 ball will be called, and this to put Senny further on into the one loss side. $14.6 Senny. How can it be when it's only a race to 10? Stay awake, semi-pro. And the match is over and Senny marches on. And as I said, he's going to have a little wait for his next match. Well, that about calls it a day, guys. Once again, thank you for your company. Thanks for dropping by. Thank you for watching. We'll have some matches during the week ahead, as we've seen on the bracket, and next week. Keep an eye out for that, because those matches suit my time. We've got the monster match, I think, during the week as well, so we'll have that one on the one loss side. So until we meet again, take care, stay safe, keep your distance, and I will see you again soon, and I'll bid you